So we are reading from Riadul Saliheen. Today's chapter is about باب حق الجار والوصية به. قال الله تعالى واعبدوا الله ولا تشركوا به شيئا وبالوالدين إحسانا وبذي القربى واليتامى والمساكين والجار ذي القربى والجار الجنوب والصاحب بالجنب وابن السبيل وما ملكت أيمانكم. Imam Nadvi quoted the ayah in regard of the neighbor. What is the importance of neighbor and how we care about this, how we maintain this relation. So, Imam Nawawi is giving the reference from Quran, the importance of the jar. So, this is Surah An-Nisa, ayat number 36. وَاعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ وَلَا تُشْرِكُوا بِهِ شَيْئًا. First, maintain your position as a abd. You are abd of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you should do ibadah to Allah and don't make any association with Him. And be nice to your parents with ihsan, and be nice to your relatives and orphans and poors, and the neighbor who is relatives also. And the neighbor who is just like it is your giving some company sometime. And the person who is working with you or he is traveling with you, وَابْنِ السَّبِيلِ, and the travelers and your slaves, those who you control them. So the word jar in Arabic, it is actually means the one who next to you or just like depend on you. Yani just like, we have just like in Arabic jar, we have a 3 harakat, right? Dhamma, fatha, kasra, and we call the jar. Jar means that sometimes it happens that when the haraka, kasra is coming, so the next one also take the kasra. Yani they are just in position, they are not directly, but when they are neighbor, so then they become also. And jar is also coming from other source. It is coming from jor. And jor means injustice, right? So either jar is good or jar is bad, right? So if the issue is coming, just like when I am caring about myself, and who is just like next to me, I caring about him, so it becomes the jar. And if I am just like distancing or doing something, so it becomes jawr. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describing here 3 kinds of relatives and neighbors. First one is, he is a neighbor and he is a relatives. The other one, he is not a relative forever, but suppose we are traveling, we are in bus or car or taxi or airplane, and someone is for a few hours with us, or we are waiting place something somewhere. Another person work in place, just like we are working in company or office or masjid, so we are jar. So these are different kind of positions of neighbors. So just like give very simple way to understand that one right belong to jar, even non-Muslim. Non-Muslim has right of neighborhood. It is first reward. Second, the jar is Muslim. So then 2 rewards, as a neighbor and as a Muslim. Then he is a relative and Muslim, so he has 3 rewards, right? Reward of jar and relative of Muslim and relative of also relatives, right? 3 things. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he is quoting that even and this is something very in these days it is very important that we we need, as a human being, we need company, right? So the company means that people, they love to talk to each other. But it is not easy, for example, to be suppose, for example, to love or like everyone. There may be some issue, there may be some kind of problems. But the issue is that how we handle it, right? So it is both way. And suppose this jar has a right on this one and this one has on that one. So it should be both way. But sometimes it happens that one is doing, is not doing. So in that case, even, for example, our responsibility as a Muslim, that we have to take care about our side, right? And Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he emphasized on both sides. From I supposed to do good neighborhood, and also he asked other person who is not good neighbor, he also warned him. So both way are coming in hadith. This is a very a strange kind of situation. Imam Abu Hanifa was his neighbor was a Jew. So one time he was selling his house. This Jew is selling his house, and he said, "I'm selling this house, and the price is so and so. But I have a good neighbor, so I'm selling, also charging for neighborhood. So I will sell with double." So Imam Hanif heard about this issue, and he asked him, "Why you are selling?" He said, "I have some loan. I'm not able to pay it off, so I'm selling my house." So he said, "Listen, live beside me, and I pay for your loan." Right. So it is really a very, very interesting point that Islam actually, when he has two kind of relations, one with Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, right? So this is the prime. We have to start with Allah Subhanahu wa Taala first. But Allah Subhanahu wa Taala never asks us that you're supposed to be nice to me, and whatever you do, I don't care. No, He is also including others, father, parents, and relatives, and orphans, and so on. So this attitude is actually sometimes we are missing it, or we are not. For example, in our lifetime, in these days, it be very busy life. Sometimes neighbor don't know who is our neighbor. Sometimes we don't meet it. Maybe it is the issue, but at least we can be ready if something happen in crisis or something. So we go and help, or some kind of giving some relief. عن ابن عمر وعائشة رضي الله عنهما قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ما زال جبريل يوصيني بالجار حتى ظننت أنه سيورثه. Rasulullah said Jibreel came and he was insisting to take care about the neighbor, and then I thought he's emphasizing too much. So I fear that he will say now the jar will take also part of your inheritance. So this is a very important thing, that if you remember that some positions make a person increase his or her reward not from ibadat but by some virtues. And it is a kind of fundamental position of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, that suppose he want to give some high position and his amal is not helping, so other position will help him, for example, to put his account, like balance. So one of the issue is the issue of this jar. عن أبي ذر قال رضي الله عنه قال رسول الله يا أبا ذر إذا طبخت مرقة فأكثر ماءها وتعاهد جيرانك. It is reported by Muslim that Abu Zar, he said, when you are cooking food, so add some more, for example, add something water, or put some kind, thing, so you are be able to distribute or to give portion of it to your neighbors. And أبو هريرة رضي الله عنه أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال والله لا يؤمن والله لا يؤمن والله لا يؤمن. قالوا قيل من يا رسول الله الذي لا يأمن جاره بوائقه. It is muttafaq alayh. He said this person will not be mu'min. This not will mu'min. He said who are? He said the one whose his neighbor is not safe from his, and just like, for example, either some kind of misbehavior with him, or teasing them, or giving some kind of these things. So this is another issue which is very important. When this is we have to understand the hadith with its true meaning. Sometimes we just like learn an hadith and we apply it literally. So we must understand la yu'min. It not means la yu'min he is out of Islam. It not means. It means two things. He is actually emphasizing on something that you will not be good Muslim. You will not be good Muslim, right? It means you should be good Muslim, right? And second meaning is that it will not be a kind of habit or attitude of Muslim. Yani you will not be complete in your iman till you also be nice to your. And if you remember that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, even in very early days of Makkah, one lady, she was a neighbor, and she was throwing garbage when he was just like on our way, his way, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam way, and he was cleaning. And one time it happened that there was no garbage. So he asked, she said she is sick. So he visited her. And it is kind of, you can imagine that the person can say, I am doing everything bad and this person doing a different way. So it is a way to win the hearts. It is a way, for example, to make, for example. And subhanAllah, yani, in our living here in Canada and many places, one of the reasons which make people to be closer to Islam or to be either even to be Muslim or to see Islam as a good, if they get good attitude, good behavior with Muslims, right? And any kind of these things happen, so this make a person very different way. And Quran says, يعني ادفع بالتي هي أحسن فإذا الذي بينك وبينه عداوة كأنه ولي حميم. Return good, evil with good. So the one who is your worst enemy, may he become your best friend. And it happens. And it is a journey of humanity. And now the fiqh position is according to hadith, who will be our neighbor. So it is also just like it. First one who is the closest, then the next, then the next, then the next. So it means the priority will start from the first. If I did something for my closest, it still I am caring about the neighbor. But if I able to do more and so on, so it goes a little bit, whatever distance. Another hadith is reported by Abu Hurairah also, and it is a Bukhari and Muslim hadith. يا نساء المسلمات لا تحقرن جارة لجارتها ولو فرس نشاة. The gift issue is very important also. It is one of the way to care about the neighbor. So Rasul said he was addressing women. It not means it is only for women, it is for all, but mostly the neighborhood established between women, right? People are out of work and so on, so then that time they can do their kind of services and so on. So he said, if someone gifted you, send you something, and it is very, it has no value. So even respect it, not the piece of this thing. The issue is that what is behind it, how a person doing it. So someone suppose send you just like some portion of the lamb or something, right? Hoof of it. So don't consider it that it has no value. Maybe, for example, it is the issue. Sometimes it happens here. If the question comes, suppose a non-Muslim give me some food, right? So can I take it? Can I eat it? So my position is that if you giving, take it. But if you are not sure, it may be coming from their, suppose, some kind of religious things. Just like a Hindu, they have a Diwali or Holi or some kind of these things. So they have gift two kind. One is they go to market and they buy some sweet and send to you or send it. Other is they go to their mandir and they do some kind of worship or rituals and they take it as a sacred kind. So this is not allowed because Islam cannot allow us to eat anything which is dedicated to other than God, right? So we will not. But other thing is coming. First position we take it. If you are not sure, donate to other, right? So in this way it is not. And also second thing you will send to her, that person also from your side in your eat time or some kind of is there some situation. So in that way, for example, this neighborhood is also considered. One of the any issue which is the iman actually means, for example, to believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? And but Rasul has used the word here, the neighbor is not safe from your teasing. So iman means also that your neighbor feel that you are not risk, you are not a threat, right? It is also part of iman. If you remember, subhanallah, a story sometime it has an eternal value. The Khubab ibn Art, the one who was captured by Makkah people, and one family, and he killed in Battle of Badr. So the family bought him to kill him, to crucify him. So they put him in their house. They have no prison, so they put him in one room of his house. So he asked, do you have any razor or some kind of something to clean my hair? So she gave her just like a knife or something. And by chance, a baby girl, entered the room. Surprisingly, this girl was sitting beside Khubab, and he has a knife in his hand, right? And lady noticed it, and she become just like horrified. Now he will kill it. He will kill the baby, right? And Khubab said, do you think I will do it? No, I will not do it. I will not do it, right? And this is actually a very great lesson in our time. In our time. Sometimes it happened that people, suppose, in many countries, even Muslim countries, suppose make a ransom, capture a person. I will not release till you give this money or so and so. Khubab ibn Ard, he was going to lose his life. And this person, enemy is a baby, right? But he is not hurting. It is Islamic standard. It is Islamic standard. And this actually make human superhuman. In our Western system, we have a superhuman or some kind, superhuman. Who is superhuman? Maybe, for example, the person who can be just like kick one thing and the whole building will drown, will crack and so on. No, the human is the one who has a control, and his ethics, which is, you can say, work in the time of test, not in the time of speeches. We do a lot of speeches, right? But when it happens, that's issue. So in that sense, the kind of this attitude make a Muslim, for example, real Muslim, and people feel that we are safe when the Muslim, for example, is for example, beside us. من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر. This is also reported by Bukhari and Muslim and Abu Huraira. If you are believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the day of judgment, فلا يؤذي جاره. ومن كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فليكرم ضيفه. ومن كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فليقل خيرا ولا يسكت. He advised three things in this hadith. First thing, be nice to the one. If you are really believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so you must be nice to your neighbor. And if you are believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the day of judgment, you must respect or honor or behave with your guest in a better way. And if you are believing in Allah and Akhirah, so you say good thing or keep silent. This is also very easy advice, but very difficult, right? Many times it happens that people, they don't hold themselves, right? They have to speak. Maybe it is not effective. It not means you have not to speak. You have to speak, but see if there is any wisdom behind it, any need for it, and it will make a change for this person. Sometimes, suppose a person busy with some other issue, and you are just like disturbing this person. So maybe it is better. And second thing, if you are knows that this is wrong, then you speak about it. Sometimes people, they say, no, don't do this. Okay, what is wrong? No, it is not. Okay, what is the proof? You have no proof, so you should not say something. So khair means which is considered in Islam khair, then say it to others. Just like I make sometimes a kind of funny way comment when in our time, If you go to someone to take, brother, I need to talk to you about some serious issue. Say, listen, I am busy. It is my working time, so please come on when I'm off, right? When I go, suppose, and I'm giving such this is kind of attitude can happen. When I go in off day, listen, brother, it is my leisure time. Don't disturb me. Come by when I'm free. So when you are free, right? So it is also issue that how you will, for example, which time is better for you at the last moment of life or what time when we need it. So Abdullah ibn Umar, he reported the Rasulullah said, خير الأصحاب قال عائشة قلت يا رسول الله إن لي جارين فإلى أيهما أهدي قال إلى أقربهما منك بابا. She said, I have two neighbors. Which one I supposed to do? I want to, suppose I have only one thing. I cannot share with both. So she said, which one is the one who is very closer? His door next to your house or something closer to it. So in these days, how we'll count it? The issue is that suppose in apartment building or how you will say it is closer and so on. But really, there are some issues, especially in these days. The people are living in their home, but really you can see that they are living in loneliness, right? And especially if they are elders or they have some kind of retired life or they are sick and so on. And mostly, for example, families are scattered in different places. So it is also a nice, for example, to make some kind of just like a sitting area. Suppose you go and ask them and ask them about their situation, any help and so on, or even the good word. And it is also making them feel that yes, it is giving them some kind of relief. So these the jar issue is very important, especially when we have a memory of something, right? So this memory is actually sometimes transfer. But one thing something is also very important. We must be cautious about the maintaining of privacy of khalwa, right? And this is something I notice it is become a kind of norm in some Muslim societies that the kids from different house are coming and playing, right? And they are growing, right? And we allow them to come anytime. And this make another issue, right? Because maybe, for example, boy and girls behave there, for example, they establish the relation. So it means the jar issue is very important, but the maintaining the, for example, etiquettes of entering with permission, taking, for example, sitting in common area, not, for example, allowing them to, for example, go. These areas should be also very, very clear. Otherwise, it will be just like, for example, the first and most, for example, fearful moment when something happens, and then, for example, it affects others. And the last hadith said, خَيْرُ الْأَصْحَابِ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ تَعَالَى خَيْرُهُمْ لِصَاحِبِهِ. The best person in the eye of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one who is good for his friend, for his neighbor, and for his, you can say, companion or whatever. Just imagine, suppose, for example, the journey of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is journey of Rasul, right? And but you can see that his position as a neighbor, as a relative, as a, for example, even the dealing with enemy, all are governed by Islam. And this is the reason why, suppose, for example, I have a story that in India in British time, a land was disputed between a Hindu and Muslim. So the court judge asked, is there any witness from Hindu person? Do you have any witness? He said, yes, I have one sheikh. He is my neighbor. So he will be my witness. So Muslim thought that when sheikh come, he will support me because I am Muslim, he is a Muslim. So, and this sheikh, he said, I don't want to see your face. He said, I vow Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that I will not see the face of British. He said, okay. Judge was very, very wisdomful person. He said, okay, don't come to see me, stand with back. Yani you stand your face, you know, against my face and just answer a question. He said, okay, I can come. So he entered and he show his back to judge. He said, okay, this Hindu is claiming that this plan and this Muslim is also claiming. Who is right? He said, Hindu is right. And he just left. So it is actually another issue has happened that one person, suppose he come to Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and he asked the Zubair radiallahu anhu, he has a land, a farmland, and he is a well, right? He is a well. So Zubair radiallahu anhu, what he do? He took water, he irrigate his plant, and then he let his neighbor Ansari, or someone, he was from Ansar or maybe hypocrite or something, but he was letting him to take water. But this person was waiting some time to get water. Suppose he take few hours to fill the farm and then allow it to others. So he came to Rasulullah and he said to Rasulullah, yani, this is very difficult for me. Say to Zubair just to share with me directly. Give me water directly. So Rasulullah said, okay, Zubair, when you not need water, let him benefit from it. Yani your need is fulfilled, then let him. So this Ansari commented in a very wrong way. He said, oh Rasulullah, you are taking his side because he is your relative. Zubair is your relative, so you are taking his side. He said, okay, now I do justice. So, oh Zubair, not only take what you need, but fill your top of land, then allow them. So this issue is also very important. Sometimes people think that when I am neighbor, you have to give me everything, suppose for example. So there is standard also. It not means, for example, you demand everything. So suppose a person taking care about his own priorities, about own family and so on, then of course he share with others. And sacrifice is okay, but not sacrifice with losing others' positions. Sometimes it happens. Many times actually this kind of issue emerge in family life. Suppose the person is caring about neighbors more or friends more and not caring about the kids and thing. So it is also creating balance is also very important. Both things who are under your direct responsibility, they deserve first and then you do other for also. So in that sense, for example, this relation is also part of our deen. It is not just like in these days we think it is a kind PR issue. We have some PR issue or something. No, it is a part of deen. So if we make our intention to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it will be also ibadah. Jazakumullahu khairan. Oh, jar, yes. The the refugee. Who are the refugees? So there are in Arabic tribal life, and also it is legal type, and also in Islam. If you have someone to want to protect this person, and he is not citizen of this country, suppose, or he is not, or he is for some reason, suppose, under some kind of arrest warrant, and you give him shelter. So it called jar. And I am your protector, right? So in Islam, there are two things. In Islamic state, an individual can give shelter to other individual, and this is individual right for everyone. But to make an agreement with some country, it is a state issue. A state will deal with peace or whatever contract because it is a state issue, right? But in giving shelter, just like suppose, for example, if you are giving some, asking here, I don't know what is the rule, but suppose, for example, in Islamic system, if you say, I have brother and I want to bring him here, suppose, or I want to give him shelter. So Islamically, this is your right. And you remember that Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, in the time of Fatih Makkah, victory of Makkah, one lady came to Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, she said, I am giving shelter to this person, Ali radiallahu anhu refusing. He said, he is enemy and I will kill him and so on. So Ran said, Hani, she said, Hani, she said, Amanna manamant. Yani when you give shelter to someone, we also giving it. So this is jar. And he said, I am your protector, I am your giving the shelter and so on. وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله حياكم
بارك الله فيكم جزاك الله خيرا.
الحمد لله وبركاته.
الحمد لله.
الله يكرمك.
In Australia, they try to harm Muslim by terrorism, terror. And subhanallah, one guy give
يا أخي أنا قلت